Welcome to the Milk and Honey with Lemon podcast. I'm your host, Lemon Price, creator of the Holy Girl Habits, wife and mama, and certified life and leadership coach who turned away from corporate life to embrace kingdom leadership. This podcast is for Christian women feeling the weight of their divine callings, grappling with doubts of their leadership abilities, and searching tirelessly for biblically grounded guidance who want to step confidently into their roles as radiant kingdom leaders. Inside, we're going to traverse from those feelings of uncertainty and overwhelming searches, moving toward firm biblical leadership, empowering you to steward your gifts, and showing you that you indeed have what it takes. So, sister, grab your favorite cup of coffee or tea, and let's dive in together. Welcome back to the Milk and Honey podcast. I'm your host, Lemon Price, and I am so excited to do this with you today because I was going to do just one episode on marketing and authenticity, but y'all, I went hard on some training the other day inside of one of my Facebook groups. I'll link to the training below so you guys can check it out. And it was on marketing strategy. So if you didn't know, my background is in marketing. I still run a marketing agency and I have my master's in marketing. I was the chief marketing officer of a tech company when I was only 26. And that's when I left because I was like, I've peaked. Professionally, you've peaked when you're in the C-suite before you're 30. And so I started my own agency and I've been doing that for years now. And I love it. I have some beautiful clients. We're doing really beautiful work. And I'm always asked about marketing strategy and how do we show up. And so I really wanted to take this episode to talk about authenticity in your service-based business. And y'all, it's going to be a whole series. I love series. We're in the middle of our summer series. Next week, we'll talk about overcoming fears, and I'm excited to do that with you. We're going to talk about authentic marketing and branding. We're going to talk about relationship building. It's going to be a fun few weeks. It's going to be a fun month. I'm just going to take a month to talk about marketing and showing up authentically in marketing. I'm very excited about it. And I remember when I first got on Instagram and things, it was like 2011, 2012 when I got on Instagram. Very beginning of Instagram, right before influencers, before any of that. And I watched Instagram morph into the perfect aesthetic and having the perfect feed. And I've used to teach this, how to have a curated feed. There was companies that I volunteered for. They still use a very curated feed and everything is branded the same and every other post looks the same. And it's a lot. And here's the thing. People don't want it anymore. People do not want the perfect feed, the perfect Instagram story, this woman that feels unattainable. They don't want her anymore. They're not interested in her anymore. And I'm seeing it, especially with TikTok, right? It's very average people who are just sharing very honest, real and honest things that are doing the best. People who are letting somebody in, people who are not afraid to share their vulnerabilities with people. That is what's working. That's what's working. And I can tell you from experience, the more vulnerable and authentic that I get, the better my business does. The better everything does when I get really honest and I share really intense moments of my life, where I share really honest and raw moments of my life. That's when things do the best. And so if you are in some sort of a service, whether you podcast, you're a marketer, a copywriter, you're in network marketing, whatever you do, whatever it is, I want to talk about how authenticity will be the biggest and best piece of marketing advice that I could ever give you, and how it's going to transform what it is that you do. Right? So I'm going to break this down into a few things of what does it mean to be authentic in your marketing? What does it mean to show up authentically? What does it mean to have a brand that people can connect with? Because here's the thing, nobody is buying what it is that you do. Do they need your service? Absolutely. But is that why they chose you? Is that why they paid your invoice? No, it's not. It's because of you. It's because they connected with you, they resonated with you, and they felt like you were the person who was going to get them the results that they have been needing. And so it's never necessarily about the perfect landing page. It's not about the perfect Instagram feed or TikTok post or reel or anything like that. It is about being 100% yourself. And so I want to talk about, how do we embrace your values and your passions and your strengths as a service provider, right? You have to really know what it is that you value. Okay. What is it that you value as a person and a business owner? For me, I'm a Christian. So I have Christian values. I value the fruits of the Spirit, right, in my business, because that's who I am as a person. And so I value very biblical truths, right? That's a value for me in my business, is I want people, when they look at me and when they interact with my business, I want them to walk away feeling the love of Christ without me having to beat it over their head, because my values dictate the behavior, right? So what are your values? What are the things that you care the most about? Write them down. Pause me, go write them down. What are the things that matter to you? How do you want people to experience you? Okay. Then I want you to figure out what you're passionate about. For me, right? So something that I do, something that I donate to, I'm involved in. There's a Christian crisis pregnancy center. And I was a mentor for some women in need here, right? We've donated, right? We're involved. We're involved with that community because that's something that I'm passionate about. I live in a college town. And so being able to support women as they walk through something that may be unplanned, right? And that they're scared of, that matters to me. And so when I am running my business, when I'm thinking about showing up in service, it's not just about the person that I'm working with, right? It's not just about, can I get this person the result that they need? Because yes, that is a big factor for me. But it's also, hey, when somebody works with me, that's more that I get to pour back into this thing that I'm passionate about, this project that I'm passionate about, this service that I'm passionate about. So what is the thing that you're passionate about? For my oldest, he really loves drawing. That is his passion. That is everything that he does is so he can draw more. Every purchase he makes, right? Everything that he asks for is about drawing. He wants to hone in on that skill. That is his passion in life. He's super talented at it. And that is his passion. And so everything that he does, every decision that he makes, every time he asks us to buy something at a store or something for his bedroom, it involves what he's passionate about. So what are you passionate about? What is the thing that lights you up that's not just your business? What is the thing that you get excited for? And let that show. And then what strengths do you have as a service provider? What is it that you can do? And not just the skills that you've cultivated, right? I'm not just talking about, I have a certification in SEO or data analytics or anything like that. What are your other strengths? Who are you as a person? Yes, write down the skills that you have. That is important. But also, I want you to write down, what are your other strengths as a business owner? What is it that you have? What do you bring to the table? Okay. Because when you can align your service and your business with the most authentic version of you, get to work from this place of genuine passion and enthusiasm. You get excited. I actually just had this conversation with my business coach and had a conversation with her because I did this training, right? I was really trying to figure out the direction of the agency and what I wanted to do, because I also mentor and teach inside of Girl Power Alliance, which is another Christian community focused on personal, professional, and leadership development. And I'm like, how do I marry the two? What do I do? And I've been wrestling with this for weeks. And then I taught a training last Tuesday on marketing and showing up authentically, and gave my best marketing strategies out during this training. And I did not get to literally 2/3 of the content that I had prepared, right? Of course, I sat and I mapped everything out. I'm very type A. I didn't get to 2/3 of it because I was so excited and so passionate about what I was doing. I was so excited to have the conversation that I was having. I was so excited. And it was like God took over and I showed up as the most authentic version of myself. I was the most passionate version of myself. I was the most enthusiastic version of myself. And I was in like the most anointed place that I've been business wise, having this conversation. It was hands down one of the best trainings I've ever done. And I finished it. My DMs are still blowing up like a week later. I'm still having conversation about it. And I immediately messaged my coach and I said, that's it. That's what I want to do. I want to teach. I want to teach from this place where I get to marry my love of God, but also the skill set that I've cultivated. And when I get to talk about the things that excite me, when I get to marry those two, you better get a pen and paper out and grab some tissues because I go hard and I have really intense conversation about it. And so I'm excited because I'm putting all of my marketing knowledge and training into a course for people right now. I've got some women going through it and it's really beautiful because they're all Christians. And so I get to marry my love of Jesus and I get to marry my skill set here, the thing that I'm excited about. And it creates really beautiful synergy. And that excitement and enthusiasm translates. It translates in everything that I do, everything that I teach, it translates. And people get excited and people want to take action because I was excited and I had the passion and I had the enthusiasm that inspired them to go and take action. And so you have to do the same thing. What is it that you're passionate about? What excites you? Because when you show up as the most authentic version of yourself, when you are not afraid to share the truest part of who you are, okay? That is when transformation happens. That is when people get excited and people gravitate toward you. Okay. I've had people come and ask to work with me because they watched my training, right? My email list has grown because they're like, I need to be in her space. And that's what you want. And the only way you're going to get there is by showing up with that passion, with that enthusiasm that only comes from being true to yourself. Okay. So the other thing is, this is a big thing, is I get asked all the time about content, right? And attraction marketing and everything like that. We can talk about attraction marketing another time, but the thing is your content, okay, has to affirm who you are. Your content, let me say this again, your content has to affirm who you are. Your content means that you're true to your core values and your principles, even in a challenging situation. You have to live out being the most authentic version of yourself. You cannot post as Sally and in real life be Susie. Okay, that doesn't work. They're going to create a disconnect and people are going to feel it the minute they work with you. And that's when you get people disappointed. When people want refunds, when people leave your team, whatever it is, because you didn't show up authentically as yourself in your content, is going to affirm who you are. And it's only going to do that if you live out exactly who you are. If you're true to who you are and you're living that out, people will gravitate to you. And all your content is going to do is affirm who it is that you said you were. Okay. And so you have to consistently demonstrate your values in the actions that you take. Every action that you take. And that means when you're sitting in a traffic jam and, for me, the other day, we were going somewhere and there was a traffic jam because there was a tractor. I live in rural Georgia. And it was important that even though we had somewhere to be, I still showed up as the person I claimed to be because my kids were watching. My husband was there. I had to be that person. I can't say that I am this woman on the podcast, this woman when I teach, and then not be that woman in a traffic jam, right? Every action that you take affirms who you are, and that will show up in the content that you create and the way that you present yourself, okay? Then in the decisions that you make, are you making decisions from the most authentic version of yourself? Are you making decisions because you want to be this person, you aspire to be this person, but at the core, you're not this person? Or are you making decisions because you know that is who you are at your core and that's the direction you need to go in? I want you to think about the last 5 business decisions that you made. Did you make them because they were aligned with you? Or did you make those business decisions because it's who you think you should be, who social media tells you you need to be? Was it their version of success that you made that decision? I want you to think about that. And then you have to live out who you are in every interaction with clients, customers, every person who engages with your social media. Are you that person? Are you that person? Because people are watching and people will remember how you made them feel. They may not necessarily remember what you said, but they will remember how you made them feel. Okay. And so you've got to live out your values and your passions. Let me tell you. So I've been the same person, right? Obviously I've grown, but my values, right? I'm rooted in biblical truth and have been for a decade. Okay. I want you to keep that in mind. It's 2023 when I'm recording this. I have had the same client since 2015. Since 2015, 8 years, I've had one client. And they're great, and I love and adore them. They consistently bring me work because I have built trust and loyalty because I am the same person. My values are the same, and I show up exactly the way that I say I'm going to show up. And I provide the results that I say I'm going to provide for them. And so I've had the same client now for 8 years. What would that look like for your service-based business? To have same client for almost a decade. What's that lifetime value look like? And it's all because, think about the cost of your services, right? On a retainer model and results that you can deliver. What would it look like to have that retainer paid every single month for almost a decade by the same person? Because they trust you and they trust the results that you're going to give them, and they know you because you continuously show up as the most authentic and true version of yourself. Have there been changes? I had a business partner at one point, then I didn't, right? So billing changed, all those things, but I was very transparent and honest and real with my client through that process. And he rolled with the punches because he knows me and my character. Okay. He knows exactly what it is that I bring to the table, and he knows who I am at my core. And so it was not a difficult decision for him to stay when I said, hey, for a year, I had a business partner, billing switched, things changed. His quality of service did not change, but the interactions and things changed a little bit. When I left my business partner, I said, hey, it's just me again. Don't worry about it. And he said, cool, no problem. Whatever. Just let me know when you're sending the invoice. It was seamless because I've built trust and loyalty by living out my values. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is what makes you unique. You have a unique approach and perspective within your industry. You may feel like you don't. There are hundreds and thousands of other marketers. Nobody approaches marketing the way I do. Nobody thinks about it the way that I do because nobody has lived the experiences that I have. I guarantee you could not find another person who has the same exact skill set, right? No two people have the exact same skill set. Nobody has the exact same certifications or anything like that, right? And so I bring something unique to the table. I think about things differently. And so you have to do the same thing. You have to show what it is that makes you different. What is your unique value proposition? What is your unique skill set? What is your unique methodology? Share it. Tell people about it. Because here's the thing. I could give you step by step exactly what it is that I do. But you will never be in my brain. And you will never think about marketing the same way that I do because it's going to be different and unique for you. The conclusions that you draw based on data and experience and things are going to be different than what I do. And that's okay. It's the same thing. I could have I have so many accountants that I know, and they all approach tax planning and everything completely differently. completely differently because they have a unique set of skill set. They have a unique methodology to handling things. You have a unique methodology to handling things. So talk about it. Talk about what makes you different, because when you are not something that somebody can compare anymore, right? That's when we go from being a commodity to being a real service. When you're no longer comparable to other people, that's when you stop being a commodity and you truly become a service that is in demand and that people want. And the way that you get there, again, is by being your most authentic self and embracing the uniqueness that you have. Okay, so you can express your uniqueness through your branding, through your marketing materials, through the way that you offer your services, but talk about what makes you different. You do not want people to compare you. God gave you something unique. He designed you specifically with the skill set that you have. He anointed certain people for you to serve. And the only way you're going to do that is by showing up and embracing the things that make you unique. This, again, is going to build more trust and credibility and a stronger connection with the people around you. They are going to see you as the expert, okay? Because you have something different than everybody else. Next, I want to talk about, y'all, I've got a list of things I want to discuss today. I want to talk about how you build trust through your authenticity, okay? I told you that I've had the same client for 8 years in marketing. We have ebbed and flowed. I have had a team of 13 people. I've been solo, and he has been with me through every issue of my business, right? Every single iteration of it, he's been there. The reason that he does is because I am completely transparent and completely reliable. When I say that something is going to get done, it gets done. When there is something going on in the business, I tell him about it. I do this with everybody. And when, hey, guess what? I'm going to be away for a week. He is cool. I know it's handled. I don't have to worry about it. There's complete transparency and complete reliability, and that creates complete and total trust. Not one time in 8 years has he questioned my methodology. He's asked me to explain it so that way he has an understanding of what I'm doing, but he's never questioned it because I have built a relationship based on trust, again, by being my most honest and real version of myself. When you are genuine and you are true to your word, clients will feel confident in your capabilities, and that is what brings long-term relationship. When you are genuine and true, clients are confident in your capabilities, and it builds a long-term relationship. We all want long-term relationships in our service-based business. Okay, we all want a long-term relationship in our service. It is a lot easier to keep a client happy and returning than it is to go out and find new clients. Okay, that's what you want. How can you continue to show up and serve this client and then make them want to stay? And it is by being genuine and true to who you say you are. Okay, next I want to talk about your credibility, right? When you are showing up as your most authentic version of yourself, when you embrace your uniqueness, you also get to highlight your credibility, okay? When you are being true to yourself, right, you get to position yourself as an expert in the field. Like I said, you do not want to be a commodity. I could go buy milk from 17 different stores and the price point is going to be slightly different in each of them. There's a difference between shopping at Publix and shopping at Walmart. If you are in the South, you'll know. And so when I show up as my most authentic version, when I share my unique value propositions, when I share my unique methodology and framework of thinking about marketing, or when I think about Girl Power Alliance and all of those things, I get to enhance my professional reputation, and it makes people quicker, right? It closes the time to close a service, right? Proposals move faster, all of those things, everything moves faster because I have set myself up as the expert. And that's what you have to do, right? When you are consistently delivering high quality services and maintaining this open communication, and again, highlighting your expertise and your being just transparent and real and honest with people, it reinforces your credibility, which all that's going to do is build stronger connection. Okay. All it's going to do is create an emotional connection with your clients, your customers, your leads, etc., because they feel like they can connect to you. They see you as the expert and they want to be connected to you. And so by showing some empathy and active listening and understanding in your client interactions too, in a way that is authentic to you, you will build a strong connection with your clients. Okay. This episode could go forever, and so I'm going to stop it here. You're going to have to tune in again next time as we talk about deepening these client relationships, right? And how do you inspire this in other people? And we're going to talk about innovation and growth, and I am very excited for this. So you guys are going to want to stay tuned. Be sure to tune in next week. Listen to the summer series as I talk about leadership, because that's part of showing up authentically, is figuring out who you are as a leader. So binge those. They're all 5 to 10 minutes long. They're meant to be quick and bingeable and actionable for you. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to connect with me on social. It's all linked in the show notes, but seriously, go to any social media platform and type in Lemon Price and you will find me. I'm the only one. So let's connect. Let's talk about it. If you want to talk about your authenticity and your marketing, I'm happy to have that conversation with you. And I will see you all next Monday. Bye, friends. Thank you so much for listening to the Milk and Honey with Lemon podcast. I am so grateful you were here. I hope this episode has helped you move from feelings of doubt and uncertainty towards stepping confidently into your God-given leadership role, fully equipped with biblical wisdom. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a second to rate and review. Each review helps us to reach and inspire more Christian women leaders just like you. Don't forget to share your takeaways, post it on Instagram, tag me anywhere you're on social media, and I'll see you next week.